Fenty Beauty, in my opinion, has reached iconic status in the beauty world, right? It's up there with all the best, the greats. They came into the beauty industry not with like, we're a new brand kind of energy, but the energy is like, we are a brand and we have done it better than everyone else. We're here to take over. We're setting the new standard. Here we are. And everyone's like, yes, yes, you are. But it does feel like recently Fenty hasn't been making the big, huge splashes like they used to do in the beauty world, not just online, but also offline. In all honesty, it kind of seems like people have lost a bit of interest, or just perhaps they aren't gravitating towards a brand with as much excitement as they used to. We're going to talk about it today. Why has everyone kind of lost interest in Fenty? Let's talk about that today. But please do go ahead and subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and do leave a comment if you don't know what to say. Just say algorithm. I want to say before we get into this, when I make these videos, it's not always just my opinion. I do pick up little bits here and there. I have a hugest respect for Fenty as a brand, what they have done in the beauty industry in terms of inclusivity, shade range. They really set the standard and an expectation, and they've showed us what a brand can really do when they have a budget, but they've shown us what they can do. And if you ever get a job at Sephora, I will be in your Fenty training video. So for those who don't know, although I'm sure you're very aware, Fenty was launched by Rihanna, singer, actress, fashion icon, international world treasure. This was in September 2017. Why am I thinking it's like 2020? The brand's launch was highly anticipated and got so much attention, particularly for its emphasis, like I said, on diversity within the beauty industry. So it said that Rihanna had long been dissatisfied with the lack of diversity within the beauty industry. I mean, imagine being a celebrity, a model, someone who's getting their makeup done constantly and not having much choice of what you can use. You probably have something, but not the biggest range of choice. So she saw an opportunity to fill this gap within the industry. We had our brands that did, you know, big shade ranges, MAC, NARS, that it. And she wanted to create a beauty brand that celebrated diversity and everyone for who they were, no matter your skin tone, no matter what you look like. So working closely with Kendo brand, Rihanna began developing Fenty Beauty. She was involved in every aspect of this brand, from like the development to the marketing strategy. She was there, and we were even given clips of her like talking about the brand quite passionately about it as well. She looked like she was genuinely part of this brand, putting it together with the team, not just being like, it's me, here's my face, here's the brand. She was very much involved. So the original product lineup, this is where the amazing shade range comes in, featured a range of complexion products, including the Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation, which launched with 40 shades. One of the defining features of Fenty Beauty is the commitment to inclusivity. And you can even see that throughout Fenty in general. Savage X Fenty, the underwear, the shows are always like very inclusive. But by doing this, by having all those shades and then launching products like bronzers, contours that were workable with these shades, also they really set a high standard in the beauty industry and actually a kind of benchmark goal for a lot of brands as well. And the brand also launched like very unique products, right? Like the Matchsticks, for example, which are the multi-purpose cream to powder sticks for highlighting, contouring, concealing. And we all know that contour shade Amber. And then from then on, Fenty started launching new products and adding to their range, lipsticks, eyeshadow. So basically the brand did really well. The brand from the get-go did amazingly well. It does make me wonder about the brand in general. If Rihanna wasn't involved, would it have done so well? Maybe not. Rihanna's a big selling point, right? Her involvement in the brand had to be a huge part of people wanting to purchase from this brand. People follow and support her. They would probably support anything that she did within reason. But then it does also speak to her other successes, her acting, her music, for people to be like, okay, she's going to make a makeup brand and we're really excited about it because it's going to be amazing. But what tells you it's going to be amazing? Because she's been amazing at everything else, or she's done so well at everything else. Rihanna's involvement undoubtedly played a significant role. And even though the formulas, the product quality, the innovative products are amazing, her presence in the brand was absolutely the biggest selling point, right? And the extended shade range. And it could have been possible that if Rihanna wasn't involved, in this brand, we could have overlooked a really amazing brand with all these extended shade range. And actually, if we compare Fenty to other celebrity brands, Fenty to me is seen as quite a professional brand, right? You see a lot of professional makeup artists using the foundations, the contours, everything like that. It hasn't stayed in this celebrity realm of merchandise. It's definitely gone past that, and people love it as a brand. They love the products and they trust the products too on a professional level, which is like the ultimate compliment. No, and people just love it in general. But you know, knowing it works well in front of camera, knowing it's going to work well on TV, movies, is a big deal. I feel like, and tell me if I'm wrong, but it feels like it's more respected within the makeup industry as a good brand versus what like Kylie. Let's say Rihanna wanted to leave Fenty, or she didn't want to be involved in it anymore. Could it still survive, or is it a sinking ship? And I kind of want to talk about, I touched on it a little bit, but the parasocial relationship of it all, right? If you're unfamiliar with what a parasocial relationship is, very briefly, a parasocial relationship is a one-sided relationship where one person extends emotional energy, interest, and time to another person who is typically a public figure, such as a celebrity, the royal family, a character in something, or just a media personality in general, influencers. The viewer, the fan, the audience member feels a sense of closeness, attachment, like they know each other, even though that public figure may not know that that person exists. So that's a parasocial relationship, right? A lot of people have it with celebrities, singers, Rihanna. And these relationships can get stronger, a little bit more intense as the celebrity, the public figure, does more stuff online or on TV, in media in general, has a makeup brand, does a tour, has an album, all these different things. You get to see a different side of a celebrity and you kind of feel like you get to know them a little bit better. And there's both positive and negative sides to parasocial relationships, really. On a positive side, it's kind of like, you know, an escape, a companionship, a kind of friendship that you may not have in the world. They may be your comfort person, which is something that you watch, or someone that you kind of relate to when you're not feeling so good, you're not feeling so great, you've had a shitty day, you know. However, they can also lead to unrealistic expectations of the relationship between the celebrity and the person absorbing them. And parasocial relationships get unhealthy when people aren't realistic about boundaries, I guess. And there are people who have this relationship with Rihanna. She's extremely likable. And when you see her in on influencer events, for example, she looks like she's just relaxed, having the best time. She interacts with people on a very genuine level. So she's a very likable individual. And add to that, she actually seems interested in the brand, which is something you don't often get with like celebrity brands. A lot of her fans come from her music career. That's how we know Rihanna, right? And something you see a lot when Fenty release a new product or a new launch or a limited edition are comments that are like, we just wanted a new album. We just wanted new music. When are you going to have new music? When influencers meet her, they ask, when are we having new music? People are supporting her brand who are fans of her music, who listen to her music still, that have that parasocial relationship, even maybe with her music. And this is something I found really interesting. I was watching the Beautiful and Bothered podcast, which is incredible, by the way. You need to watch it. Very, very good, everything. And he brought up this really, really good point. Are people going to lose interest in the brand because their relationship to Rihanna is her music, and the makeup, the brand, is just something they're supporting in the meantime, waiting for new music?
The success of your brand as a celebrity brand owner is your personal brand. That is the only thing selling the line. And we've talked about it with Fenty recently, and seeing hiccups from Fenty and stumbles from them in the past couple of years, because it has been so long since Rihanna has reinforced her, Rihanna, I don't want to hear it that I'm saying it wrong, has reinforced her personal brand, i.e. by releasing music or nurturing the personal brand, that Fenty is starting to get to the point where people are like, wait, why is this the thing? You know,
every comment on the new Fenty Beauty post, they're like, we just wanted an album. We didn't need a new foundation.
That's what I mean. It's starting to slip where people only, when you are a celebrity with a brand, people are only buying it for the most part to support you based on your personal brand that they have a relationship with you.
Yeah.
When you haven't released music in 10 years and haven't nurtured your personal brands, your beauty brand that relies on that personal brand is going to start to decline.
And it is.
And
Fenty,
it is.
I know for a fact that somebody has told me that the Fenty numbers have dropped drastically. They think that there's such a loyal following to it. And I'm like, yeah, to a certain degree, like I think people repurchase products 100%.
Of course.
But the launches, the way that they sold out when it first started, it was so exciting. It was so new. It was so fresh and hot.
Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
the new concealers, everything, all of the new launches are always like lackluster. The new highlighters, just like it flopped.
It's like when an influencer makes a brand, right? A makeup brand. Now, I'm not comparing an influencer's level of fame to Rihanna's level of fame, but just hear me out, right? Let's say the influencer is on YouTube. They have millions and millions of subscribers. They make a makeup brand, a beauty brand in particular. Then they don't post on YouTube anymore. The brand doesn't do so well, or as well as it could have done had they kept posting on YouTube their regularly, the normal amount they would. That's where their audience come from, YouTube. That parasocial relationship is a huge part of an influencer brand. Not all the time. This tends to be with beauty brands. That brand is merch for that person. So in this sense, Rihanna is the influencer, YouTube is music, and the brand is the brand. So do a large proportion of her audience, her fans feel left behind? But let's be real, she never has to return to music if she doesn't want to. Fenty is worth 2.8 billion. Even when she did do a kind of a comeback to music during the Super Bowl, she did the what's it called? Midway performance. I don't watch things. I don't do sport. Halftime. No, what's it called? You know what I mean. That was an advert for Fenty pretty much, right? She used that powder and it sold out. And also she's only 36. She's done a lot. She's done acting, music, beauty, a career in like beauty, fashion. Maybe she wants to go down other paths. Maybe she wants to go down other routes. Maybe she's going to come out with a home line. I would buy Rihanna bedsheets. But despite Fenty having fans of a brand, and Rihanna having fans herself, you know, combined, and people having regular products they use from Fenty, the foundations, the concealers, the contours, the products and releases recently haven't had, as much as I hate this word, any kind of viral moment. But I have to say, I like that the brand don't release things that are in the moment just to be on trend, right? They release things that stay in their regular line. I feel like brands now release stuff every single month just to be on what's current that month, you know, cream blushes, something else, you know what I'm trying to say. But when a brand like Fenty doesn't do that and they have their core line and they add to that core line with more shades, it kind of feels like they're thinking about a product a little bit more, in my opinion. Some people might find that boring, but to me it's like, okay, you have your core products and you want to add to that. You're not just dropping us products every few months off the top of your head what's trending that month. You know what I mean? What's happened to my hair? As I mentioned earlier, Fenty filled the gap within the industry with their shade range, right? People trust the brand, and in my opinion and from my knowledge, once someone finds their perfect shade within their foundation and it's perfect, right? They tend to stick with that foundation. They might try something else here and there, but they always go back to that one product that was perfect for them. And you get that loyalty, that customer loyalty. Brands exist offline too. And if someone walks into a Sephora and tries it on, they know exactly where to find it again. And that's why I always think it's a good idea to cater to all skin tones, not just, you know, morally, but if we're thinking just from a business point of view, customer loyalty. If you find it hard to find something for you anywhere else, your perfect lipstick, your perfect lip liner, and you find it from this one brand, that's a customer for life. And unfortunately, an online presence is a huge part of sales now. It makes a huge part of beauty sales. And Fenty has kind of lost that online presence that they used to have when people would gush over their products, new releases, everything like that. Fenty can release something new and I wouldn't even know about it. I went on their website recently and looked at new products. I've never heard of any of them. They look great and I'm sure they're incredible, but I didn't hear anything about them. Do I think Fenty is coming to a close? Absolutely not. Not one bit. Although things seem a little bit quiet, Fenty have always had a slower approach to releasing things. Not slow as in not doing enough, but they don't rush things out. They're not ColourPop. They're not Makeup Revolution. And that's actually very much appreciated in a world where we get product after product after product. Something in me feels like Fenty are the kind of brand that are gonna come out with something amazing soon, just around the corner. I don't know anything, but they might. And everyone's gonna trust it because it's Fenty. They've made that name for themselves, that trusted name for themselves. in terms of not just for products, but them as a brand. They have the budget, they have the know-how, and they have the support and the fans, you know? I would love to know your opinions down below. Has Fenty kind of gone out of your lives? Not that it was a huge part of my life, but I used to see it everywhere, now not so much. I'd love to know your opinions down below. As always, do please consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up. I will see you very, very soon. Bye.